Wow. The things humans are willing to do or limits they can exceed just to show love or protect their compassionate animal friends are unimaginable. Like in this first video here, my friend, we'll get a glimpse of such type of love, good vibe soul. And this one is just but the beginning of more interesting videos that we shall be reacting together to. But the mission, my friend, here is to react to these videos with love. Show everyone in the whole world the importance of living in peace, being honest, forgiving towards one another, and kind. Now, wonderful soul, I hope you have understood what we shall be doing. I am Y311H. You can tell us your name in the comment section down below. And I am straight out of Africa with lots of good vibes and gifts, my friend. Yes, gifts. I have a gift for your soul here. This one is from a book of old times. This is what it says in 1 Corinthians 3:18. Do not deceive yourselves. If any one of you thinks he is wise by the standards of this age, he should become a fool so that he may become wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness in God's sight, as it is written, He catches the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows that the thoughts of the wise are fertile. So then, no more boasting about men. All things are yours, whether Paul or Apollos or Cephas, or the word of life or death, or the present or the future. All are yours, and you are of Christ, and Christ is of God. Wonderful. And Christ is of God, and this God, Almighty Creator of heaven and earth, Maker of your soul. We really acknowledge that Creator here, my friend, and we will talk with them before we dive in and see these incredible videos. So let's humble ourselves from wherever you are. Dear Lord Father, full of mercies and kindness, thank you for your love. Thank you, dear Lord Father, for this chance to be alive and speak together to you, Father, together with your beautiful child here. As we come to before you, Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we ask for forgiveness of all our sins, Father. May this viewer be forgiven their sins from wherever they are watching from. May your goodness, Father, reach them, and your love, Father. Intervene in their lives, Father. Help them to carry their burdens, dear Lord, and be merciful to them. And as we react to the videos together with them, guide us all through till the end. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in good web source.
Have you ever heard the phrase, a dog is a man's best friend? It may seem like a saying as old as time, but the famous Missouri Supreme Court case of Burden versus Hornsby of 1870 is considered one potential origin for that phrase. When Leonidas Hornsby shot his neighbor and brother-in-law Charles Burden's best hunting dog, Old Drum, Burden first threatened to kill Hornsby, but instead sued for $100. At the third trial, Burden's lawyer, George Graham Vest, delivered an emotionally wrenching closing argument titled Eulogy for a Dog. Let's hear it. The best friend a man has in this world may turn against him and become his enemy. His son or daughter that he has reared with loving care may prove ungrateful. Those who are nearest and dearest to us, those whom we trust with our happiness and our good name, may become traitors to their faith. The money that a man has, he may lose. It flies away from him, perhaps when he needs it most. A man's reputation may be sacrificed in a moment of ill-considered action. The people who are prone to fall on their knees to do us honor when success is with us may be the first to throw the stone of malice when failure settles its clouds upon our heads. The one absolutely unselfish friend that a man can have in this selfish world, the one that never deserts him and the one that never proves ungrateful or treacherous, is his dog. A man's dog stands by him in prosperity and in poverty, in health and in sickness. He will sleep on the cold ground where the wintry winds blow and the snow drives fiercely, if only he may be near his master's side. He will kiss the hand that has no food to offer. He will lick the wounds and sores that come in encounters with the roughness of the world. He guards the sleep of his pauper master as if he were a prince. When all other friends desert, he remains. When riches take wings and reputation falls to pieces, he is as constant in his love as the sun in its journey through the heavens. If fortune drives the master forth an outcast in the world, friendless and homeless, the faithful dog asks no higher privilege than that of accompanying him to guard against danger, to fight against his enemies, and when the last scene all comes, and death takes the master in its embrace, and his body is laid away in the cold ground, no matter if all other friends pursue their way, there by his graveside will the noble dog be found, his head between his paws, his eyes sad but open in alert watchfulness, faithful and true, even to death. I'm gonna cry. Holy shit. When he finished, the jurors were in tears, and they awarded Burden $50. Hornsby appealed to the Supreme Court of Missouri, but the decision was upheld and led to a statue of our boy Old Drum placed inside the Missouri Supreme Court to this day. Not only that, there is a statue and plaque in the Johnson County Courthouse in Warrensburg, Missouri, memorializing both Old Drum and the eulogy of the dog. In 2017, Old Drum became the official historical dog of Missouri. I didn't know you could have one.
Never, ever be with a man that has ever used escorts, sugar babies, massage parlors, any of those things. Never do it to yourself, girls. I promise you'll regret it. Even if you are the escort that is going to marry this guy, trust me, this is a man that pays for validation. It's a man that will pay to feel desired. It's a man that's not willing to work on himself enough to get the women he desires. And more so than anything, it's a man that doesn't look for emotional and spiritual or intellectual connection with a woman. He just looks for what he sexually desires. I know you're going to say, oh, all men have that desires, all that. No, not all men. All losers have that desire. The desire to just have a woman that is just good for them sexually. The biggest red flag is men that pay for sex is they're usually porn addicts. They are absolutely addicted to pornography. And how you know that they're addicted to pornography?
Want to go outside? Want a treat? Mama's home. Of course. I gotta say, my friends, we have come a long way, and that previous video that you saw of a book scanner at the University of Tulsa is a prime example of exactly that. Do you have any idea how long it would take to actually copy a book back in the day? A lot. It would take a lot of time. Before the creation of the printing press, every single thing that was written down had to be, well, written down again in order to get another copy of it. The process then of transcribing a book is something that would take not just days, but oftentimes weeks or months, depending upon the length of the book that we are talking about here. And this is a process that was typically done by monks who would work anywhere between like 6 to 12 hours a day doing this. Like, they would have dedicated rooms in monasteries that were quite literally called the scriptorium, the rooms for writing. As one could reasonably expect, when you are sitting there writing, copying the same things for days, weeks, or months on end, you're bound to make mistakes. Because of this, you couldn't just have any monk do it. The ones that did it were typically highly trained in grammar, in language, in their copying ability, in actually having a steady mind and firm hand so that they don't make mistakes and lapse. This was not a job that you could trust to just anyone.
Trump was right about Ukraine, and now the media is quietly admitting it. Look, you don't have to like Trump. You don't have to support Putin, but you may want to pay attention for a moment because something massive just shifted. The Hill, one of the biggest political outlets in D.C., just dropped an article called, sadly, Trump is right on Ukraine. That headline alone is enough to make half the media scramble for damage control. But what's inside that article is even more powerful. They admit that the war in Ukraine wasn't unprovoked, that it was Ukrainian right-wing militants who ignited the conflict back in 2014, long before Russia took Crimea, that Zelensky, far from being a hero of peace, rejected multiple peace agreements, pushed for NATO military involvement, and amped up aggression in the Donbass region. He banned opposition parties, shut down the media outlets, and then begged for more weapons to defend democracy. In the West, they didn't just let it happen. They funded it. They armed it. And they sold you a one-sided story on every major network, day and night, for years. They told you this war started in 2022, that Russia attacked unprovoked, that Zelensky was the last man standing between freedom and tyranny. That was a script. If you questioned it, you were labeled a traitor, a Putin puppet, or even worse. But now, even the Hill is admitting it's not that simple. And here's what they're not saying out loud. Trump said all this years ago. He said NATO expansion was reckless. He said West was playing games in Ukraine. He said we were headed for a war we didn't need. And now the same media that mocked him is quietly backpedaling. So why now? Because the narrative is cracking, because independent journalists, alternative media, and everyday people like us kept pushing for the truth. Because mainstream media knows people are waking up. The same people who lied to us in Iraq and Afghanistan have been lying about Ukraine, and now they're getting caught. So no, I'm not a pro-Russia. I'm not a pro-Zelensky person. I'm pro-truth, pro-reality, and pro-peace. And here's the thing. You don't have to pick a side to see what's going on. You just need to pause, zoom out, and do a little bit of digging, because once you step outside the media filter, the picture changes. You start to see how much we've been manipulated, not just into war, but into turning on each other. The elites thrive on distraction, on outrage, on fear. But now? So before you start replying with hateful words, take a moment. You have the chance to think for yourself. Question why you're so angry, and look at what is being presented in front of you. I challenge you to do it. Not for Trump, not for Putin, not for a flag. Do it for the truth. Do it for peace. So share this, because war thrives on lies, and peace starts with waking up.
Let me tell y'all a true story. Be simple and watch this video to the end. What is this guy talking about? This video is for entertainment purposes only. Let's go.
Let me show y'all this video I just took. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly. Come on.
Alright guys, this sun right here is 93 million miles away.
It is.
Look how close I can zoom in on it.
How?
This is with the Nikon P900.
Okay. It's a good camera. Shh. It's not a game. Get ready.
93 million miles away.
93 million miles away? That's far. Come on.
I don't know, does that look like a burning ball of fire to you?
It does.
93 million miles away? I don't think so.
Shh. Shut up! Now, I don't know how far the sun is. You know why? Because I don't think about that when I wake up in the morning. All I know is that the sun sets and the sun rises. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I don't know what that guy's talking about. But if they said it was 93 million miles away, then it's 93 million miles away. Shh. Shut up! Listen, bro. Where did you get that camera from, actually? Shh. Shut up! That was a good camera. What kind of lens is that? Stop playing with me, son. It's not a camera here, guys, and you know what time is it. The sun is real far away. And it's real hot. You can't go that close to it, bro. Who told you can? Shh. Shut up! Listen, we shouldn't be worried about things like that. The sun set, the sun rises. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game right here, guys. You know what time is it. But I tell you one thing. If somebody ever tells me that the sun is 93 million miles away, it is, bro. You're right. Well, I don't know if you are.
If you're looking for tips to protect your home from flooding, try the family that lives in this house. This astonishing aerial footage was posted to social media showing the entire landscape flooded, save for one home. That's because the family that lives there installed levees, and it's been doing so ahead of major flood events for years. This part of Tennessee was hit hard by record-breaking rainfall and a slew of severe storms. Things could get even worse with the nearby Mississippi River in major flood stage.
Yo, my friends, lots of incredible stuff up to this far. Those guys that build a house that survived the floods, man, that is unbelievable. That is good vibes. But those good vibes shows, my friend, they could have also shown the neighbors that building technique, and it could have been good vibes for everyone. Anyway, that is just my opinion. You leave yours down below. Tell us what you think. You see, interesting stuff all this way, and even more interesting stuff coming up, all for you good vibes. So hit that like button and let's continue watching. Oh yeah, there is that thing about the sun. My friend is reminding me. You good vibes all watching, child of God. From how you know things, how you look at things normally, do you think the sun is really 93 million miles? Miles! My friend, how many kilometers is 1 mile?
60 miles is 100 kilometers.
Oh, is me, I think maybe so 1 point something, or maybe 1.45. I don't know. Good vibe soul. Is it really that far? You leave your comments down below. And all this you have seen is for entertainment purposes. Let's continue watching.
What I'm about to say might surprise you. This is a Dreamcatcher. It's supposed to collect evil spirits and nightmares and then in the morning release them. What you might not know is this actually doesn't stop demons, it opens the door to demons. If you've been having your lights flickering, hearing footsteps down the hall, and you have one of these in your room, I would get rid of it today. Dreamcatchers are 100% an open door for spirits.
Native American dreamcatchers are not decor, and here's everything you need to know about them. Dreamcatchers come from the Anishinaabe tribe. You may know them as Ojibwe. Their origin is that they started out by being gifted by a female family member and given to children to help them. One of their lures is that there was a spider woman, and as tribes spread out, the spider woman couldn't reach everybody. So the mothers, the aunts, the grandmothers were entrusted to weave dreamcatchers to give to the youngest members of the tribe so that they would have good dreams and all negative and bad things would be filtered out. There's a very abridged version of it. And while Anishinaabe is the originator of the dreamcatcher, many tribes have taken it on, and you can see versions of dreamcatchers all across Turtle Island, aka North America. Now, given its connection to the spirit world and the fact that it is a ceremonial type item, meaning we use it with a purpose and it is specific to our culture, and each part of it has a specific meaning, and what's used to make it is significant. Every part of the Dreamcatcher is significant due to all of that. It is not meant to be a decor item. It is extremely disrespectful. Anytime a Native person sees a Dreamcatcher in a rear view mirror, or we see you wearing one from like a piercing, or we see a tattoo of one, it gives us the ick, because we don't understand why anyone would want to wear something that attracts and absorbs negative energies. And also to note, a Dreamcatcher doesn't even work unless you're hanging it properly, which means you're hanging it over your bed with the feathers right above your forehead, and you make sure it's in a place where sunlight can hit it as soon as the sun rises. And if that's not possible, you can always hang the Dreamcatcher after you wake up in the sun, making sure that it is clean of all the bad things that it absorbed during the nighttime. And while non-natives can have Dreamcatchers, as long as they purchase them from a native source or are gifted them from a native person, always support indigenous made and not native and indigenous inspired. As long as you are purchasing it and using it correctly, that's fine. We're not going to gatekeep that. But what most natives collectively agree upon is please use them respectfully and remember that they have a connection that's deeper than just being something you slap on the wall. If you wouldn't treat another religion's or culture's sacred, ceremonial, or revered items in a disrespectful way, don't do it to natives.
They track your movements and your morals. I mean that quite literally. They monitor you. To monitor someone, you got to hang around them. You got to follow them. You got to go where they go. You got to be around where they are. That's what these spirits are. Again, Satan is not omnipresent, so therefore he has to send his demons out to keep track of the people that he most wants to attack. And they keep track of your morals. It's like they got a spiritual checklist and they're keeping track of what you do and what you don't do. So if you have a particular sinful indulgence, a monitoring spirit is watching what you do to report back. And then they make their plans about how they're going to go after you based upon their surveillance of your activity.
You know how if you tense your eardrums, it sounds like thunder? Like, I'll do it right now. It didn't look like I did anything. Apparently not everyone can do that.
If you can tense your eardrum and hear thunder, you're one of a small percentage of people that has control over their tensor tympani muscle. Pretty cool, but if you can do these other things, you truly are a genetic freak. 60 to 80% of people can roll their tongue in a tube shape. About 10 to 20% of people can voluntarily wiggle their ears. Only about 14% of people have this tendon still in their wrist, the palmaris longus tendon. And if you can shake your eyes on command, that's called voluntary nystagmus. And only 8% of people can do that. If you've got it all, you are a true genetic freak.
He's acting really weird. Hi. That is Ellie. He was outside and then he freaked out and now I've never seen him act like this. He's like shoving his face against me. What the? Wait, who the fuck are you? Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck?
He looks so cute. He looks like a puppy again.
Maverick. Oh my god.
Oh my
Huh, you coming up?
what has he done to you?
Are you nice to AI when you use it? The way you talk to AI actually changes the way it responds to you. Now, most people have no idea this is happening, but researchers have tested this and the results are pretty shocking. According to a study, when users were polite, the AI gave longer, more thoughtful, and even more accurate answers. On the flip side, when people were short, aggressive, or demanding, the AI's answers became worse. Now, it's almost like it cared how it was being spoken to. I know what you're thinking. AI doesn't have feelings. You're right, but here's where it gets crazy. AI is trained on human conversations. It picks up on patterns, and politeness is one of those patterns. So it doesn't just answer, it often mirrors the way that you communicate, which means if you're impatient, rude, or rushed, sometimes the AI is going to reflect that back to you. But this is the big question. If AI reacts to how we speak, are we training it, or is it training us?
So there's studies looking at people that handle a lot of receipts. They have, like when I was in the airport,
stuff and stuff like
yeah,
that.
I was in the airport on coming here, and you know, the guy that was like handling the receipt, he's like, "Do you want the receipt?" I'm like, "No." And I saw him take it out and put it in the trash. And like, I thought about, there's this huge line of people.
You're doing
It's
that
a coffee
500
shop.
times a day.
Exactly. And I looked at the guy and I was like, "Hey dude, you know, I just want to tell you that these receipts are lined with endocrine disruptors that disrupt hormones." And he goes, "You mean?"
Wish somebody had recorded this. Oh my God. This lady who's going through the airport. Met this lady earlier on today and she started ranting and raving about the receipts. Said it's sort of covered in this magic dust that's killing me or something. Like that.
I couldn't help myself. I felt like I couldn't not say something. Right. And he looks at me and goes, "You mean like testosterone?" I was like, "Yes, testosterone. It's been correlated with a decrease in testosterone." I was like, "You need to wear nitrile gloves." So bottom line is BPA, it's lined on the receipts. Nitrile gloves can stop people from absorbing it. So people that are like, you know, basically any kind of cashier, anyone that's handling a receipt multiple times a day, highly recommend they wear nitrile gloves. Latex doesn't do that. Also, if you wear cream or hand sanitizer, it's been shown to increase the dermal absorption of BPA by 100-fold.
Fuck off.
So I'm out in the courtyard with my wife having breakfast, and we noticed this in the tree. I was pretty concerned because I was like, what's happening to this thing? And we looked it up and we found out that hummingbirds do something called torpor. Torpor? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is like basically hibernating until it gets warmer. Pretty neat. You learn something every day.
Guys, is there any way that I can connect my AirTag to my keys without having to buy like a $15 attachment?
Got my cords folded in half and linked together. That window in the middle, that's where I'm going to place it right on top of the nail. Now I'll twist, left over right, twist, left over right, twist, left over right. All right, let's take this off our nail. Right where our nail is at, that's where we'll thread through all 4 strands from below. Just pull it tight. And then I'll include my AirTag. Just line that up. Pull it nice and tight. With these 4 strands up top, we're going to tie a friendship knot. So I'll make my plus sign. This strand's going to go over. This strand's going to flop the other way. I'll take the strand on the right and thread it over the top and underneath. Okay. Pull this one out. Same thing, over the top and underneath. You remember doing these knots here when you're in the 6th grade? You want to pull these super tight. This is going to be our stopper knot for our cradle here. We'll take our keys, put it over the friendship knot, and we're going to tie it right in with the next round.
If you flip the collar up and you can see 2 edges, it means this shirt or jacket is good. 99% of the shopper doesn't know the secret. When the fabric beneath the collar is smaller than the fabric above the collar. When they are sewn together, the smaller fabric beneath will naturally hold the bigger fabric above down. In comparison, let's look at this one. This one is brand new in the shop. As you can see, before you even wear it and wash it, that collar is already flipping up. Why? It must be because the fabric above and beneath are the same size. Now let's flip and look at it. Here you can see there's only one edge along the collar, which means the two fabrics are the same size. That's why structurally the collars are not going to be naturally curved downwards. It will be flipped up. Do not pick this one. After you wash it, that flip is going to get even worse. Now let's look at a good example. This one, the collar naturally laid down. Let's check the detail, flip it up. Along the edge, you can see two edges, which means the fabric beneath is smaller than the fabric above. So it can naturally hold the collar down. This one is good. Like and follow for more fashion tips.
Go see homes when the weather sucks. Number one, because there's less competition. Buyers wait for sunny, pretty, nice days to go see homes. So if you go see homes on like a wet, rainy, or cold day, there's gonna be so much less competition and way less buyers that you're competing against. And secondly, to make sure that the lot doesn't have flooding issues. The last thing that you wanna have to do is have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars after closing to fix any drainage or landscaping issues because of flooding.
If I asked you to go outside and change a tire right now, would you be able to do it? If not, let me show you how. The first thing you want to do is locate your jack, your tools, and your spare. They're usually located in the trunk of your car, but it could be different with yours. Check your owner's manual under flat tire. Next, you want to position your jack. There's a specific location where your jack needs to go against the body of your car or truck. Your lug nuts are going to be on there tight, so you want to make sure you loosen them before you jack that tire up. Your rig will come with its own lug nut wrench, but I prefer using this star bar because it gives me a little more leverage. After you break those lug nuts loose, it's time to lift your car up. Just put your tools together and start cranking. It can be awkward, but you'll eventually get the hang of it. Lift it up high enough that you can get something all the way underneath that tire. Once your car's been lifted up, go ahead and remove all of those lug nuts. Set those lug nuts off to the side in a pile, but make sure you know where they are. Have you ever seen that movie, A Christmas Story? You'll know what I mean. Time to take that flat tire off. Just rotate it back and forth a little bit till it slides off the lugs and roll it out of the way. Roll the spare tire into position and make sure that valve stem is sticking outward. Lift the spare onto the lugs and then use the lug nuts and finger tighten them all the way down. I like to snug them down even further with the lug nut wrench. Lower the car down, and once that tire is touching the ground, that's when you tighten them up. Make sure you go in a cross pattern. Tighten one, move to the opposite side, tighten the other. Just keep going back and forth till they're all the way snug. Remember, spares are temporary. Get to a tire store as quick as you can and get your regular tire put back on.
I think that you guys don't know what's going on in education right now. That's fine. Like, how could you know unless you were working in it? But I think you need to know. So here's exactly what it's like right now working in public education. First of all, the kids have no ability to be bored whatsoever. They live on their phones and they're just fed a constant stream of dopamine from the minute their eyes wake up in the morning until they go to sleep at night. Because they're in a constant state of dopamine withdrawal at school, they behave like addicts. They're super emotional, like the smallest thing sets them off. And when you are standing in front of them, trying to teach, they're vacant. They have no ability to tune in if your communication isn't packaged in short little clips or if it doesn't have like bright flashing lights. That's actually the way harder part for me than just the outright behaviors, is just being up at the front, talking to a group of kids who have their eyes open, they're looking at me, but they're not there. They're not there. And they have a level of apathy that I've never seen before in my whole career. Punishments don't work because they don't care about them. They don't care about grades. They don't care about college. It's like you are interacting with them briefly in between hits of the internet, which is their real life. I've seen some TikToks recently where teachers are getting a lot of hate, like for not adapting to the kids or punishing them or whatever. And I just gotta say, like, I can tell you with absolute certainty, it is not the teacher's fault. It might be the parents' fault. It might be our capitalistic society's fault, but it is not the teacher's fault.